What is going on, guys? Check out this absolute beast of a trike that I bought from AliExpress. So this has taken about 2 months to reach me, and we're going to build an absolutely mental 72 volt 4000 watt front wheel drive beast of a trike. Now, trikes are never particularly that cool very often, and they're quite often like granny shopping baskets most of the time. We've got lots of upgrades on this. We're going to see if we can build an actual fast, sketchy, cool trike that anyone would want to have a go of, that wouldn't be too embarrassed to drive it. Maybe too scared to drive it, but not too embarrassed. That's a key objective here. Got loads of upgrades for it. This is all from Kirbebike. We've got the Kirbebike 72 volt battery, huge controller, and we've got this beastly 3000 watt hub wheel, which is going to be running a peak of about 4000 watts or just over, and it's going to be front wheel drive, so it's going to be a tad on the sketchy side. Lots of other modifications for it as well, so decided it's going to need at least some front wheels extra stopping power. So this bike basically come completely dismantled, and we've started building it up. It was just a box of bits on the floor when it arrived. We've loosely put it together, but when I say loosely put it together, literally I've never had a bike so dismantled. Nothing's connected, the gears are not connected, the brakes are not connected. Aside from the 4000 watt 72 volt kit, we have got huge thicker floating rotor. That's going to look pretty sick. Obviously it's going to go on the other side, but some very blingy parts. Got all colour coded post mount adapters, and I think they're titanium bolts that are anodised blue. We've got a set of Clark's hydraulic brakes because this comes with some crappy mechanical brakes, and I just want to make this fast and handle better, stop better. I think this is going to be sick. Like, I can't wait myself. So the final upgrade I've got for this at the moment is a bunch of upgraded tyres, which both should function maybe a little bit better, but also they're going to look badass. We're going to try and make this trike look and perform sporty is the key. Sketchy is probably the more accurate word, but yeah. So it's going to be a badass, cool, fast, sketchy, badass trike. Let's go. So straight away on this build, hit some problems. I flipped the bike upside down, ready to remove the front wheel, and I noticed the welding on this AliExpress trike was absolutely shocking. I looked into buying a new set of forks, but the dropout was just too wide. Then I noticed something on the frame. In the centre of the frame behind the seat post, there was a couple of slots where you could drop an electric hub motor into the frame, but it would only allow for a small 250 watt motor. I played around with that idea for a bit and decided it's not worth all the work just to end up with a 250 watt road legal trike. I wanted to build something crazy, so I had to go away and do a lot of thinking. It seemed like the project was going to fall on its head before I even started. I don't want to go to the hassle of building this trike and end up with a boring underpower trike. I want to build something a little bit crazy. I don't want to do loads of work to turn it into a front wheel drive trike. So I think I've found a solution. And this is my solution to building a monster rear wheel drive trike that hopefully does wheel spins and drifts. So my solution is, I've bought this.
Why have you bought the truck already?
All will be revealed, bear with me.
É muito tempo de resiliência.
Before I explain what I'm actually doing to the rear end of this trike, I got sent a welder by Artec Welding probably several months or a year ago now, and my friend Oscar's come around today because he's got some experience, unlike me.
Minimal.
Yeah, and this is the first project where I actually need to do some fabricating and welding. I think, like, by the time I actually can do something usable, it's going to open up a whole bunch of, like, world of opportunities for the project. So anyway, come and check out my feeble attempts at welding under... Oscar's given me a bit of supervision. Maybe I'll bring them out to you, might be easier. So this was my... That's Oscar's attempt, like obviously just getting to grips with my welder, it's much neater. That was my first attempt, pretty terrible, I think. And there is my second, and there's my third. So by the third one, there's... Yeah.
It's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, it would do the job. This is the new... fabrication shed, so to speak. We've got a little grinding wheel, little charging station up there, and we've got this amazing Artec welder, which your opinion you've done a little bit.
I'm very jealous of compared to my eBay, budget classic.
Yeah, there you go, a genuine review of the Artec. Yeah, it's like a smart welder. You only have to put in the thickness of the material and it calculates the voltage and amps and everything, so really easy to use. And yeah, thanks to Artec for sending me the welder. I'll be using it a lot more in a lot more projects, hopefully. As we mentioned earlier in the video, these forks are pretty horrendous. Terrible welding, so we're just plugging it up. We've done this side of this one. We're just going to finish up here, and then I'll show you guys how we're powering the back end of this trike. There's actually something very interesting happening with this, because I think I can make this faster than a normal 72 volt conversion. So yeah, bear with us. We're just going to finish up this fork and I'll explain everything. What's going on, guys? So I'm giving this electric bike away that I built. It is a Trek Marlin 6 size large 29er, and it's going to go to one of you lucky subscribers. All you got to do is head on over to the link, which I'm going to put up on the screen. Really nice spec bike. You've got RockShox forks, 29-inch wheels, size large frame, upgraded brake rotors. Lovely bit of kit, torque sensing pedal assist, throttle, it's got everything. Anyway, I've been way too busy to advertise this, so the odds are even better at the moment than usual. This is the 10th e-bike I've given away, and yeah, not as many people have entered at the moment as they usually do. So really good odds of winning a really nice bike. Does about 40 miles an hour, good on and off road, good range, good speed, and great quality bike. So check out the link in the video description. Back onto the video. Right, we'll give that a go. Right then, guys, this is my idea for turning this trike into a 72 volt rear wheel drive e-bike. So I've bought some 6mm steel sheet, and the basket has these 4 mounting points. So the idea is we take this sheet, which kind of lines up. It's not great, but it's functional. It's going to get bolted down to here, and then we've cut the back end off of the Schwinn Stingray to use as a frame. I'm hoping these 2 holes I've drilled here will take the chain down to the cassette below. Now, the interesting part is I'm going to leave the 7-speed freewheel on the cassette hub, and I'm going to run the chain from the smallest chain wheel down to the largest chain wheel on this 7-speed, which will do 2 things. The first is it should be a 2-to-1 gear reduction, I think. So basically, I don't want a trike that does 62 miles an hour, because that's just stupid. But I do want it to do wheelies and wheel spin, which is also stupid, but I prefer that kind of stupid. So I think this is really interesting. This is effectively could almost double the torque acceleration from standstill up to about 30-35 miles an hour. I'm going to guess. Could be wrong in hindsight, but on paper, I think this is going to be really interesting. We're effectively going to make, hopefully, a 72 volt electric e-bike that's quicker accelerating than any of the other bikes I've put it on as standard kit. We'll find out when it's built. Anyway, we're going to get this all bolted up in place now. Try and line the frame up that we've got, tidy it all up, and we're going to have a go at tack welding this down in place. So the hub wheel that sits above here is in line with the cassette, and the second thing is we'll use one of these other ones which is in line with the front chain wheel, so you can actually pedal it as well. So effectively, hopefully we're going to end up with the battery controller motor in a basket here, possibly with a cover on it, so we don't actually, it's not even going to look like an e-bike, kind of. It's going to have big brakes on the front and other little giveaway signs, but it's going to be like,
Sleeper build.
yeah, sleeper build. It's going to be like stealth bit of madness. And maybe we'll go get some drift sleeves or some conduit to wrap around the tyres, some fun.
Wheelie bar.
And maybe a wheelie bar, yeah. So this is the little contraption I've ended up with. Basically, and then I have this welded to the plate. In my eyes, like, these are way more solid tubular bar than you normally get on dropouts. And rather than having the aggro of trying to perfectly cut something to a dropout slot, I thought, why not get a Schwinn Stingray, because they're chunky, they're made out of steel, which most bikes aren't nowadays, and we can weld it straight on there. Got these, they're actually looking pretty tidy and fresh. Got the paint off and de-rusted the inside, and we're going to have it leaning backwards now, so like that and like that. So all we've got to do now is knock out these holes a slight bit, and I think we're ready for welding, aren't we?
I think so.
Not sure if I trust myself on my first go to go around it. This might be a job for you, Oscar, but
I'm more than happy to.
oh, brilliant. I'm glad to hear that. I'm all right. Maybe if it was a nice straight line, I'd feel comfortable, but like for a first weld to try and get in round there, nah. Oscar's been having a fight with a cable.
I've been fighting some birds in their line and nest, so get out.
Well, I've just laid that basket over there, just to see whether I can still use it. Looks like I can. Right, let's have a... That looks solid AF. Ain't going nowhere, is it?
No time soon.
I bet you could, well, literally, I'm not going to do now because it's red hot, but you could probably lift that off the ground by that quite easily, couldn't you? It's going to burn your hand, mate. Yeah.
It's strong.
Yep, that is solid. So we're down to the final stages of like the hard fabricating stuff. I mean, there's a chance we might... I've cut the metal bars out the original basket, and if I round the corners off of that, where I marked it originally, grind them corners around on that plate, it's going to fit. The only thing is the motor's going to protrude a bit, so either I don't have a cover on it or I put some kind of rally hood scoop, race inspired.
Carbon fibre spoiler.
Yeah, we're thinking about a big gay carbon wing on the back for downforce.
Wheelie downforce.
Yeah.
It's just a shame you can't fit your shopping in here anymore.
What would you rather have though?
Have a big fat motor in there, I think.
yeah. Would you want to pop wheelies or go to Lidl? You can't do both. Obviously this isn't the full-size motor, we just left that in there so it doesn't warp and get out of shape, just to hold the dropout space steady. But yeah, I mean obviously it needs painting up and a bit of fettling, rounding off the corners, figuring out what I'm going to do to sort the battery, but we're almost at a stage now where can kind of just tidy it up and paint it and then bolt it all down permanently. Right guys, we've made some decent progress now. So I've been busy all weekend. Unfortunately I didn't get to record a lot of it because I was learning how to weld. There was a heat wave and the neighbours are having a barbecue with demonetising music playing all weekend, so I just cracked on and got some of the more boring stuff done, but the result is quite amazing. So starting off with where we left off, the handlebars, fully welded. Look at that, feet are off the ground. Nice and strong. Welded the BMX handlebars on, all painted up. The base plate, I've rounded all the corners off. I've welded the original basket to the outside, and that can take the whole weight of the motor, the battery. Drilled holes so I can strap the battery down. Have a look inside there. It's come out pretty good. Right, so we've got Clark's M2 hydraulic brakes on the front now. 203mm floating rotors. Front brake is fully working. The rear brake, the mounting points are on the opposite side, so I've had to put the hydraulic brake on with a hose coming out, and it's going to go in a loop back. It's the only way I can get the hydraulic brake to work. This is what I've been faffing with all weekend. So it's fully got the hydraulic brake on there, but we've got basically took a 3 metre hydraulic hose. So there's quite a few bits to do, but I'm quite excited because I think we might be able to get this thing powered up and running for the first time today. I'm going to head down to the bike shop, get them to connect this hose to the rear brake, both ends bleed it. If they'll hook up the chain for me, I'm going to stick a chain from this motor to the axle. And although not 100% finished, we are getting really close now. And if you come and have a look, let me turn the battery on. So screen comes on. Let's knock it up to mode 5. I'm not sure the speedo's working accurately because that's currently showing 79 miles per hour. 82 then. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to figure out how to set the speedo accurately if possible at all, because I'm totally changing the gearing through this. So if the bike shop will do it for me, I'm taking a chain down. We're going to run it from the smallest sprocket on the hub motor down to the largest sprocket on the axle, which in theory should give us double the torque and kind of almost double the acceleration, I think. Let's go find out. Right guys, back from the bike shop. Good news and bad news. We'll start with the good news. Brakes are all done. Look how tidy this is up around the front end. We've got full hydraulic brakes, fully connected up, front and back working really well from what I can tell. Second and last bit of good news is the chain's on. We've got gold chain connected up to the hub motor, all great. Now the bad news. Why didn't I think of this before building this? So I was expecting it to all work. The motor moves, but it freewheels. Of course it does, because if this was on a hub motor, the motor powers the wheel itself. It doesn't power the drivetrain. So effectively, this does absolutely nothing. I'll show you. Right, this should be working in my head. So basically we've got a problem. We've got two freewheels, a freewheel on this hub motor and a freewheel on the axle. And they're both doing what a freewheel should do. So I was like, shit, I've done all this work for nothing. But I don't think I have. I need to remove this. What I'm going to do is drop the wheel in the dropouts, hopefully pull the chain off easily, take this, well, not take the motor, take the freewheel off this motor, and I'm going to weld the freewheel. And then we'll see what happens. Because you've got to think of coasting on and off power, pushing the bike backwards, all kinds of complicated stuff. So this one's going to be lock solid. The bottom one on the axle is still going to be a freewheel, and once I've got no idea what it's going to do, because I know it's going to work. It's going to force this round and it will power the bike. It's going to force the chain in all circumstances when this motor's moving to go forwards or backwards. And then the bottom one's still going to act like a freewheel. So it's a bit head fuck. And the only way we're going to find out what happens is to just get this all apart again. I think it's quite easy. The only thing I've got to be careful of is not overheating the freewheel when I weld it and melting the internals and breaking the mechanism. So I'm probably going to put it on the driveway, drop this wheel out, spin the freewheel off and put a few tack welds on it and lock this freewheel up, get it all back together and see what happens. And it could be the first test ride. Let's go. I can kind of use it like a skateboard at the moment. It's just a very big, expensive skateboard with no seat on it currently. Right, so a bit of fighting, this freewheel's come off. So that's the freewheeling bit inside. So I'm thinking probably on the outside, because it's flatter and easier to access in this crease around the edge. A few blob welds, not too big, because I don't know how much clearance we've got inside the wheel, but I'm going to put a few blobs around here. Got to be careful not to heat the internals of this freewheel. So, well, to be honest, I'm not sure if it really matters too much, but we want to effectively just weld this and seize out. So let's get this in the workshop and get it welded. So I've got something to go on. This was the first attempt and I kind of went a bit too far with the second. The first one was perfect. I just wanted to do them so we didn't get too hot, but that one's gone over the thread, so that one's no good now. This was the second one. I think I've done well to keep away from that edge. I didn't want to heat it up by doing constant beads the whole way round, so I just did little blobs all round. And I've not ground it flat because I didn't want to end up chopping the teeth off and wrecking it. I think we just need a couple of mil of clearance, so we are about to find out. That one can go in the bin. Get rid of that. Right, this one. Also, I had the smallest round little blob of weld stuck on the thread. Just a little bit of spatter, and that was quite a pain in the ass to get off. But I'm hoping now, I'm very careful. Check the clearance for those welds. I feel like they're almost touching the hub, but this is never going to freewheel. So I don't see it being an issue. I'll say at this point we just try it. I mean, we'll just take it back off if there's any problems, but let's get this thing tightened and back together. Huh? Why is it still freewheeling? This whole build's confused me so much. That chain's actually... I feel like I need some more spacers on the inside. Look how tight that chain is, it's rubbing on the frame. Probably not enough to stop it from working at this point, so let's just get the chain on. Let's get the seat on and try it. I think we've got brakes. The chain's on. Will this finally work now? After all this time, you have no idea how long this is taking me, this build, to do. I mean, I haven't even put half the bits I've done in the filming. There's still a lot to do, but this might actually work now. Let's go get changed into my safety sliders and shorts. Well, I've already got the sliders on. Maybe put a seat on there because I don't fancy that pole up my nether regions. This feels so weird. Right, key on, power on. I just really hope this works at this point. Let's try and level mode 1. Oh, that don't sound good. It's just making a weird noise. It's not moving. It wants to move. Now it's locked up. Ah, why? Do you think it's undoing the freewheel or anything like that? Jammed solid for some reason. How's the freewheel undone? So the freewheel kept backing itself off the hub motor and jamming up in the dropout. And this is something that kept happening time and time again. What followed after this was several days of trial or mostly error. At one point I dropped the freewheel tool inside the hub of the electric motor and it literally took me the entire day to cut it free and get it back out again. I tried everything. I went through multiple sprocket setups and every single time when I fitted it to the trike the freewheel came loose. I was fast running out of ideas. I'd spent literally days if not weeks trying to come up with something that made this hub drive act like a mid-drive motor. There were several times I actually filmed the outro to the video and thought I'm done with it. This was almost breaking me by this point. And then I decided to commit to something permanent that might actually work this time. Right, this is what I think's happened. Imagine this bolt is the axle of the hub motor and this is the freewheel. So it goes on right hand thread, spin it all the way down. The freewheel goes onto the axle, spins all the way down and it locks against it, and normally you've got a bike chain pulling it to keep it tight. In this case this is driving an axle instead of being pulled from the foot pedals. That puts a bit of opposite tension on it. On top of that, if I've clamped it to the frame and it's touching the freewheel, that will act like sort of giving it resistance to either hold it still, or the motor's going to want to turn faster in the clockwise direction. Look what happens when the motor's spinning, but it's got some resistance against the freewheel because it's been clamped down. Spins itself out, jams itself in the dropout. Exactly what happens. You end up with a gap between the freewheel. The force of the motor just jams everything up. I think that is what's happening. Right guys, this thing has been driving me nuts, I'm not going to lie. There's been about 6-7 attempts. The last one I didn't even put on camera. I literally made my own spacers shimmy sprocket system practicing my welding. Literally had that mounted. The problem is with this wheel, well, there's a few problems going on. Thanks Loki. Take that out there. Out. The main issue is the freewheel's coming off. I'm trying to use a hub motor like a mid-drive motor and it's just not working. The motor's spinning in the direction inside the freewheel, which normally undoes it, where a chain would normally pull it tight. The freewheel is reversing the thread out, and we can't weld to this because it's aluminium. So I've got a magnet here so I can actually demonstrate. Aluminium. That 1 centimetre of thread there is steel. I think that's aluminium. So that's steel, but we can't go to that because that's part of the axle. So we've got this little collar here that is steel. And trying to weld down inside between the axle doesn't work. I tried that on this and the welds are a mess inside. I've got an idea. I'm going to make this a proper mid-drive motor by giving it a kind of semi-permanent sprocket. So 3mm mould steel plate. That sits over that collar. I'm going to bead that the whole way round. Careful not to overheat the hub motor. So I'm going to cut round this, make it a bit smaller. So I'm going to have a collar that sits around there so I can make a proper solid base to mount a sprocket system. Then I need to bring it up to around the height of the so then I'm going to need to bring it round to the height of this. And what I'm going to use for that is a Schwinn Stingray chopper again. Need to get this flat. That looks horrendous. Flatten this out, square everything up, weld it all together, stick a sprocket on. Job done. There is 1 or 2 small jobs to do on the back end of the trailer, but I'm close to giving up on this one, but I'm going to do it permanent. I'm going to make this a permanent mid-drive motor. At the moment, all you can do is spin on a flipping freewheel when it loosens itself. I could get an opposite threading freewheel, but even then there's so many different factors of pushing and pulling. It's pushing the axle and the chain's pulling it up. There's too many variables, so we're going to make this a solid sprocket. So I'm going to do a few chops around here, make this circular. I'm going to try and get this more like a circle again. Definitely need to get this more like a circle. It's a bit oval shaped. I'm going to bash that with an hammer and measure it. And yeah, we'll show you the finished product on the other side. Let's go. Right, this ain't pretty, but this is my first attempt at fabricating with nothing more than a welder and an angle grinder. I don't think it's come out too terrible. This is the frame from the chopper. I've got a 3mm steel base plate and a 7-speed sprocket. Now I've done it a little bit wider, which has not left me a lot of thread, because I thought later on I can grind round the outside of this and maybe weld a single speed sprocket on, or have one that bolts on and off so I can change them. This is the permanent hub to mid-drive conversion that I've come up with. So now we need to figure out what we need to do to get this on the trike and get it working properly this time. This whole assembly that Oscar helped me weld on needs to come apart, unfortunately. It's not all bad because at the beginning of this project I'd never welded and I was a bit scared of welding, to be honest, and now I feel quite comfortable. In fact, I feel very comfortable to weld. I quite enjoy it. So there's a few reasons we are going to completely redo these dropouts. 3 reasons. First of all, from the back, this hub is ever so slightly pivoted to the left. You might not be able to tell on camera now. This hasn't got spacers in, I just jammed this in. It's not wide enough now. I need to make it wider because of the width of this, so I need to bring them further apart. 2, the chain alignment's out. Although straight off the back of this it's perfectly in line with the sprocket, or it was before I modified it, it's slightly on a pivot, so the chain is feeding itself off and coming off and jamming. So I need to straighten this whole assembly out. And the other benefit of redoing this is I'm going to cut these down a little bit shorter. You've got, underneath this hub wheel, you've got almost 4 centimetres of gap, and this thing sits up at least 5 centimetres. So if I bring the height of the hub down by chopping this down and re-welding it into a better position, I can lower the centre of gravity. I could potentially almost get a cover to go over it. At the moment I've got no chance getting a cover to sit over this basket. I can make it really stealth. So the idea is I'm going to chop this down by about 3.5 centimetres, grind it all back, take all the battery out, and have a go at re-welding it, and hopefully getting the chain alignment correct. Hopefully the sprocket issue is not going to be an issue anymore. Do you know what I think? I think if you're going to use a hub drive mounted this way like a mid-drive motor, you need a left-hand thread on the cassette. I'm not even sure if that's going to work, but in terms of the centre part of a freewheel, the hub drive is going to naturally spin itself loose. I'd be interested to know if anyone else has done this with more than a 250 watt motor, you know, 2000 watt plus. Did they have the same issue? Did you have to get a left-handed thread freewheel? Because yeah, I just don't think it works clockwise. It just spins out and jams out the dropout. So hopefully this is what, about a 7th attempt at least, and then hopefully this will work. Let's go. Right guys, I'm absolutely knackered. I've got not much confidence in this. I turned it on, I've got the chain on. But one of the links where I pushed the pin in, the chain's stiff, so it's not going round properly. It's making horrible clunking sounds, but it actually goes forward some degree, a little bit. It hates pulling away off the line. It pulls massively to one side, but I'm not sure if it just needs a better chain on it or whether this is just a shit design and it's a failure. But we're going to give it a try one more time. I also heard a horrible clunk a minute ago. I'm starting to get worried whether the welds on this freewheel sprocket contraption, like I can't remember if there was this gap on the other side of here, because this metal plate sat right on the lip. I might have used the washer as a spacer, but I don't remember the gap being that big. I'm really worried that the welds holding all this contraption to the hub. I don't know, I think this one might be a failure guys, but it is what it is. Let's give it a try. I kind of have to roll the power on because it's just awful. And I feel like the chain's going to snap or something's going to go horribly wrong straight away. It's moving. For the first time, it's moving off its own accord. I'm giving it like the least throttle I can. It's like, I don't want to come to a stop because it's absolutely savage trying to pull away on this thing. I feel like the axle's only live on one side. Oh, there's clunking sounds going on. Let me pull in a sec. There's like intermittent power on and off, so I don't know what's going on. Now, I don't know if it's just, I'm pretty certain I got the chain alignment good. I don't think the chain alignment's bad at all, considering some of it's done by eye. Where's this link? There is one link that's really, really stiff, and I don't know if that's the thing that's caused that one. This one here is, I can't even bend it. Look, if I bend it like that, it stays like it. See that link in the middle there? This one is so stiff. So I don't know whether that could be the thing that's making the chain pop off. Right, I was just giving up for the night and I messed around with the chain tool a little bit, and it's a bit more supple now. I sort of bent it backwards and forwards, pushed the pin in and out, and we've got a little bit of flexibility now. And it actually lasted a bit longer. It's dodgy as fuck. Like, you have to push to get going, otherwise it's just really harsh on the axle. I'm giving it maybe 15% throttle now, and the thing's just yanking to the side with maximum torque steer. So if we can get the chain to hook up, this thing's going to be savage, and it's just going to want to yank you into orbit to the left. But I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if it's going to last. I've gone up to level number 2 now. We've got it working in level power mode level 1. Bearing in mind this thing goes up to 5. So I'll give it a little push off to get going. Wait, you have to wait for the freewheel to kick in. There we go. Whoa! It literally just dragged the wheel into the curb then. It's absolutely savage. Whoa! Oh God, we're gonna die. Alright, let's go again. Whoa! Did you see the front wheel? Let's roll the power on slowly. It just wants to yank you into the side of the road, even at 20 miles an hour. It's got tons of power, but it's the axle being on one side. Whoa! Going up to about quarter throttle now, and this thing's absolutely mental. It's just that torque steer. You see the front wheel move? Whoa! This thing ain't safe. This thing is not safe. Right, trying to gently put the power on. Whoa! Still pulling to one side. Not even half throttle, that's crazy. Whoa! Like, I want to gun it. I'm so used to building things and just launching them full power, but I just can't on this. You see, when I give it quarter of a throttle, it just wants to tear the front end because I think it's only powering that one wheel, which gives it massive torque steer to one side. But this thing is potentially savagely quick. So the next day I decided to look into how the axle actually worked. At first I thought there might be a joint hidden somewhere inside the frame. I felt like it was a split axle. So I decided to look into it by cutting into the frame itself. Turned out that it was a solid axle the whole way through, and the non-drive side just had a wheel bearing. At that point I decided to just fully commit. So I welded up the bearing solid so both wheels would drive together. While I was at it, I also reinforced the drive side because the torque had already started eating away at the drive system just after a few test runs. At this point, I was just fully committed to chaos, just welding anything that moved in sight, hoping for the best. Let's see what happens. Doesn't want to turn. Like, I can't actually make it turn. Well, it goes in a straight line now. It just doesn't turn. Whoa, the front wheel come up then. I've made a drag bike. So because the axle's locked, it literally refuses to turn. But, whoa, whoa, chain slip. This is a turning circle, full circle. I have locked the axle. It's quicker to get off and turn it round by hand. Well, we made it go in a straight line. 2 weeks to get a trike that goes in a straight line very fast. I'm literally rolling the throttle on like 3%. Whoa, front wheel's lifting. Let's turn it up to power mode 3. My God, this could get tiring. Looks like we're going to Santa Pod with this one. Alright, I don't know if I can pull away in power mode 3, but whoa. Whoa! It's pulling away like a CYC in power mode 3. Still got 2 power modes to go. That is fast. I'm a bit scared to give it full power. 1, because it's going to wheelie. 2, because I can't turn it. 3, because I think the chain still might snap. Still in power mode level 3. Whoa. Whoa. Got a little bit of chain skipping under high load, but this is the best that it's ever ridden. This would 100% wheelie. If I get a chain tensioner on here and good bite with the teeth. Oh, there we go. Started giving it a bit more power. Is it snapped or just come off the sprocket? Oh, I've got the magnet of my mic stuck on the basket. It's all going wrong. Trike's rolling off to oblivion. I don't know what's going to happen with this. Wish me luck. Nearly a month of work. Yeah, we got a bit of skid going. Yeah! Yes, it drifts. Yeah, we have a drift trike. Let's go find a car park. Well, actually, maybe we should test it a little bit more just to make sure it's safe. What do you reckon? We've got steering, because as soon as it This is the science of it. Once this is locked up, the front wheel is fighting against the back wheels, not able to turn on a different sort of axis. Once they start spinning and break traction, you get your steering back, you can go opposite lock, full drift mode. Try a skid. Yeah. Whoa. This is better than I could have ever wished. So good. Whoa. Oh, look at that for a turning circle. I reckon quick donut and we go and find some private land. Yes, I love it.
Move out the way like damn. Try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. In the ends, I'm feeling like bam. Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Like, do you know who I am? Stick with me, I got a plan. Yeah, try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. Yeah, try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. In the ends, I'm feeling like bam. Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Like, do you know who I am? Stick with me, I got a plan. I got a plan. Stick with me, I got a plan. Like, do you know who I am? Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Like damn. Stick with me, I got a plan. Like damn. Throwing bands and it's making them. Like damn. Stick with me, I got a plan. Like damn. Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Stick with me, I got a plan. Throwing bands and it's making them.
Really? Didn't even bloody do anything. Ah. We have a slight problem. That might be why, that probably isn't helping the chain situation. Not sure if there should be that amount of movement in the gear cassette. Yeah, look. I'm not sure if it's meant to do that. Oh, that didn't sound good. What was that? That was the chain that time. Right, I think that's it. I'm fed up with putting the chain on. I've actually had a lot of fun on this. This has been one hell of a journey, guys. Thank you so much for those of you who watch this. I know this is going to be a long one. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know if you want me to do some more with this. Don't forget the raffle, guys. There's an awesome mid-drive that's being given away this month. It's going to go to one of the lucky subscribers. Decent bit of kit built on a Trek, isn't it? Trek Roscoe 6, something like that. That one, Marlin. Yeah, sick e-bike. Yeah, what a journey, guys. I've learnt to weld, done shit tons of welding. I've built a drift trike out of a granny AliExpress tricycle, a Schwinn Stingray, 2 skateboards, and a Psychopath's plastic barrel for dumping bodies. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Take it easy.